Welcome to Awakening Women's Wisdom, the podcast where we have conversations with women of diverse backgrounds to see how they weave conscious grace and thoughtfulness, kindness into their daily life, and a little bit of wisdom that they've learned along the way. My name's Rebecca.
And hi, I'm Laurine. Welcome back to Awakening Women's Wisdom. I'm excited to be here. We've been traveling for a while, so we're getting back into the groove of recording with these beautiful women who have come to us. So I'm going to toss it back to Rebecca so she can do a beautiful introduction of our new friend, Cindy.
Yes, so I am delighted to introduce Cindy Gaylord today. We became friends when Cindy's son Dan and my daughter Laura got married. So we're kind of in-laws.
We are, yeah.
And have really found delight in many similarities. We both have bird maiden names, mine being Dove and Cindy's the peacock. And we've both been teachers. Cindy is very, very active in her community, which is inspiring and fun, the things that she does. I hope we hear a little bit about that. But also our background is similar because we came from families whose fathers were ministers and brought a lot of their love and compassion and heart into not only their community, but also into their family. So we're welcoming Cindy today.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yes, all the way from Massachusetts.
That's right. Western Mass. Yes, the beautiful
Western Mass. Mm-hmm. So if you wouldn't mind, Cindy, why don't you just give us a little bit of an introduction to yourself so we have a sense of, what you do, even though I did mention several things.
Yes. Well, as you said, I'm a retired teacher. I taught fifth grade and loved it for years. But I'm also involved in the community, as you mentioned, starting back when my three boys were younger. Every game we went to, whatever they were involved in, kind of drew us in too. And I just found that I loved that aspect of it, the interaction with other people in the community. And it kind of tied in with my greatest influence in my life too. And we'll talk about that, I think, later. Now I'm involved with, I just got off the historical commission that I was on for 15 years. But I do serve on 3 or 4 other boards in town, which I just feel is so important. You need to give back to your community. And luckily, I've been able to in ways that I love.
Oh, yes. Very, very fun ways.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So, yes, maybe we'll get an opportunity to hear a little bit more about those. So I would like to lead with the question about who has provided the greatest influence in your life.
Yes. And although I didn't know it at the time, I'm aware of it every day. So as you said, my dad was a minister, as your dad was. And his question to us in a very gentle, guiding way is each day, what do you do to either learn or grow mentally, physically, and spiritually? And he said, those are just 3 areas that you always need to be growing in your life. And I've really taken that to heart. That's kind of my mantra. What 3 things can I do each day that help myself and help others? So, and he did it in a very subtle way. We didn't realize he was instilling this in us, but I have 3 brothers and they are all very much active in their communities as well. And physically active and spiritually active. Well, 3, I can't say all of us are spiritually active, but 3 of us still are.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. What a beautiful way to be raised.
It was wonderful. And again, we didn't realize it at the time. We took it for granted, but I really was so fortunate.
Yeah, but that really helps a young person develop a character and values and instill them into their own lives and then become a model for your community. That's just stunning.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's what everyone should do. It's our duty to other human beings.
That's beautiful. So it sounds like you're a super busy woman. Thank you for finding time in your day to
that's
so
true.
Let's get down to a little bit more of a personal level. What little things do you do for yourself to bring you joy? Because I'm sensing you're a person who spreads joy no matter what you do.
Oh, thank you.
What do you do for that to feed yourself? What little
Okay.
things might you do?
Well, looking at 3 categories again, I try to work out, maybe not daily, but as often as I can because I feel better when I do. Mentally, my father brought us up with working on mental games like doubling numbers or memorizing the presidents or memorizing the states and capitals. At night, when I can't go to sleep, I run through all those just because as we age, the recall is not anywhere near as fast as it used to be. And then and physically, this goes kind of hand in hand, spiritually, physically, mentally. I'm very involved in our church thrift store. And that really is bringing me the greatest. Now that I'm retired from teaching, I help run our thrift shop. And all of us are volunteers. None of us had any idea what we were doing when we started it. And here we are 3 years later, much more successful than we ever thought. And so not only are we supporting our church, but we also give 25% of what we make each quarter to other nonprofits in town. So we're just kind of spreading the joy and also doing something for our planet, because we recycle, we reuse, and these things aren't going into landfill somewhere.
That's fantastic. And again, you're very selfless because all those things you're still in a position of giving. And that is an amazing thing.
Well, the people we've met through our it's called Blessed Buys, and they truly are blessed because we've met so many people that have blessed our lives, and hopefully we have done the same for them.
Well, absolutely. And speaking of blessing lives, this is something that has been a logical passion to me, is when you can weave different disciplines together to be learning things or introducing things or making a difference, so that you're sort of multitasking again in a natural way.
Yes.
I think that a lot of the things like Best Buys are ways that you do that multitasking. I thought it would be fun to hear a little bit about what you've done with history and your community, because that is something that is a lot of fun that you give to.
Oh, that's another one of my passions. So history, particularly American history, has been my passion forever. I taught that. But I've been on the Westfield Historical Commission for 15 years. I actually just stepped down this year, just feeling it was time. We're traveling a lot more, and I think it just needs new blood in there. But with that, we're very involved with educating our community as to our history. We were founded in 1669, my town of Westfield. And there's quite a bit that happened here. People look at Boston and think that's it for history in Massachusetts, but there's so much more. So I developed and wrote ghost tours, which we do every year in our old burying ground, so people can meet the founders of Westfield and get to know their stories. And we have everybody from the mayor to our state senator to who are clamoring at my telephone wanting to be involved with this. So they get dressed up in costumes, they have the wigs, and this being our 250th anniversary of our country is even more exciting. So we're looking forward to that. Yeah.
Wow. It sounds like not only you're a busy person, you're civic-minded, you're fun.
Hopefully, I try to be.
How you're not exhausted is beyond me.
Yeah, well, I'm retired, so that makes a big difference.
So I'm wondering, what do you do that helps you keep your feet grounded? I mean, you seem like a very grounded person already, but it might be helpful for other women to hear that when we are that busy, and that involved, and you just clearly find joy in all of it. But how do you keep your feet on the ground, or how do you stay grounded in all that you do?
Well, I think you hit on it. I have learned how to accept what I want to do and say no thank you to the things I don't want to do. So yes, I'm busy, but I have learned I don't always have to say okay or I can do that. My calendar, my boys makes fun of this because my calendar is an old-fashioned paper calendar.
Love
that
it.
Each week I take a picture of it, and I just look at my picture on my phone, and now I know when I add things to it, no, but when I get home, I write on it and take a new picture. So that keeps me organized. I need to know that at all times, and just not overbooking myself. As we all are, I think, because I understand that you both are so active and involved in a lot. And you just have to learn to say, no, thank you. I just can't take on everything. And as we're traveling more, my husband and I are traveling more too. We have to keep that in mind, when we're looking at calendars.
That's actually a lovely tip, because it's often a question asked, how are you at saying no? I love, and not, busy women are constantly saying yes and sure. Okay. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'll get there. I'll do it. But you just put something so simple on it. No, thank you.
Yeah. No, thank you. I just can't at this time. Or,
oh, thank you so much. No.
Yeah, that's right. I just can't do that anymore.
Oh, that's right. It's so simple, and it's kind of an obvious thing, but to hear it, it's very refreshing to hear it come from you, who clearly is a woman who is so busy, and filled with clearly love in your heart and in a sharp mind. So you're bringing all of your gifts to everything you do. Bravo, bravo. But to say, and the grace to say, no, thank you. Love it. It's so simple, but it's actually enormous.
It's necessary too. For mental health, it's necessary. We just came back from a trip. We were over in Europe, and we met a young couple, and she is a child psychologist, but her favorite question, I heard her as she would call her kids at home, how's your mental health today? She would just come out with it. How's your mental health today? I thought, oh, what a great question. Because people don't ask other people that, but I think that's important to know your own mental health and also be aware of others, because none of us are mind readers. So she taught me that, and and I've used it quite a bit since we came back.
Yeah, that is very relevant. I know sometimes we try to be respectful and not delve into things that people don't want to talk about, but there are times where sometimes we want to talk about something and we don't know how to open that window or that door, and having somebody meet us at that place can be very graceful.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for sharing that tip.
Wow.
And it's fun that you got into mentioning your travel, because that was going to be the next thing I was going to ask, since in the handful of years that we've gotten to really know you, I know that you have been traveling more, and I've been curious if there are things that you have learned from stepping out into other countries and cultures, because you love history and are so steeped in the US history. It's natural to want to expand that. And so what kinds of things have you learned in all that traveling?
Yeah, well, in traveling outside the US, you just realize how short our history is. You go to Europe and there's just so much history there. So it's just, I hope everyone has the opportunity to experience other cultures. Being away, it was a few weeks ago, with the culture and the climate that's happening in our country right now, it was very interesting to see the differences in how people are handling the culture and climate in their countries. Many of them are facing the same things that our country is facing. And I don't want to get into politics at all, but a lot of people agreed with what I was thinking. And I just felt it was really interesting to always be aware that we're not just the isolated country that many of our leaders make us out to be. We're all connected all throughout the world, and we need to keep that in mind to stop the craziness that's going on. I think I got way away from your question, but that's where my mind just went.
Your answer is beautiful, because while you're speaking, I'm thinking that's what we're trying to create here. Rebecca and I was just talking with women and sharing the wisdom that's in your heart, and whatever it is you're experiencing or have experienced, or whatever you've gleaned from your life experiences, that we get to come and share with a cup of tea. Perfect timing, Rebecca. And in a beautiful, simple way, and just share what a beautiful philosophy. It doesn't matter what your politics are, but we are all connected. We're all people.
That's right.
And just a beautiful conversation can just bring out the most wonderful wisdom.
And that's what I have been able to obtain from the sessions I've sat in on with you, is you two are exactly the same way. You're both filled with so much grace and just passion for what you do, compassion for others. And I'm just so inspired by that.
Oh, thanks. Shucks.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, as we're learning as we do this, Rebecca and I are both, we're in agreement on almost everything. It's not really the Rebecca and Laurine show. It's right now. It's all about Cindy. It's we want to know. No, it is. It's because what do you have to come and share? And you've just shared so much in just such a few minutes. I mean, all the little things that a woman can take away from just this simple conversation, even if they walk away with the no thank you.
No thank you. That's right.
or the beautiful thing that your father said about, what can you do mentally, physically, and spiritually.
Uh-huh.
What a beautiful way to live.
Yeah. And he lived that. He never boasted about it. He was very humble, but just being the role model that he was, we saw what he did. He was a leader in our community, being the minister of the main church here in town. And he did work out every day. And he mentally was always challenging himself and us. So, but not in a threatening way, which I don't know how you do that, but he was able to do that.
So it sounds like he was a tremendous influence in your life. Obviously,
Absolutely.
Was there anybody else?
Well, I think just along the way, each day, like that one woman that we met in our trip, and that one little line that she left with me, how's your mental health? I start that. That's one of the first questions I ask my kids now when I'm talking to them. And their first reaction was, what? And then they finally figured it out, what I was asking. And but just other teachers have so inspired me through the years. I'm involved in our church, and there's just so many wonderful people who are also doing great things. I just recently met the CEO of Juilliard from in New York, the School of Music. And she is just this most down-to-earth, lovely person. She and her husband bought a cottage up on the same lake where we have our cottage. And luckily, I got to know her this summer, and to hear her accomplishments, I feel like I've done nothing in mine. And so I think we need role models to continue making us strive for more, do more, be better.
Well, that's, I completely agree with you. And it very much resonates. Both of my parents were living examples of the things that I learned from them. That really does make a difference. Weaving again, things like the history, and then branching out, not just US, but global. We also have the thing, just as you said, about passing things on from generation to generation. And we hear many times, and then we witness that being teachers, a lot of times our students are our teachers, our children are our teachers.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you've got some very sweet, precocious grandchildren. And I'm wondering if you learned any little bits of wisdom being their grandmother. What kinds of things have they brought out for you recently?
Grandchildren are just God's gift to us for doing a good job with our kids. I firmly believe that, because I look at my boys, two of them are parents now, and they are such great parents. I'm just so thrilled. And my grandchildren, I mean, there's no greater joy. So both of you, I hope you do get grandchildren soon. And to hear them just say, to want grandma. I just came back from visiting my littlest one. She's 19 months. And nope, she didn't want mom. She didn't want dad. She wanted grandma, even though she doesn't really see me other than I FaceTime with her quite often.
Right.
But they are just pure joy. And my other two are now almost 7 and 5 today. So just watching their little minds grow and how they think, and it's just incredible. And childhood has changed so much since we were children. It's amazing to me how much more they absorb and learn and know.
Wow.
Yes. And it's definitely a good reminder to keep us young, to keep us curious, to keep us laughing, because those are very important qualities that sometimes life can stretch and make it challenging for us to remember those things. So
that's right. Yeah. And it takes there's a reason why women our age are not mothers. It takes a lot of energy. So
that is true.
Yeah. I just wish they weren't so far away. This little one I just visited is in North Carolina, but an airplane ride away. So I do go as often as I can.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, and I'm looking so very much to coming out to California next month to see
Well,
Dan and Laura and you and Pete. Yeah.
we're looking forward to that too.
Mm. And the other thing that just occurred to me, the other lesson I've learned is don't wait to enjoy life if you have the opportunity to. Rebecca knows this, Laurine, but we were traveling with our two closest friends, two other couples, 3 years ago. And on the 10th day of the most amazing trip, one of our friends died, passed away in Italy.
I'm so sorry.
Well, thank you. It's just shocking to everyone and all, just because you don't anticipate that. So if anything, it's made us realize, don't wait to travel. Don't wait to go see loved ones, because you never know if you have tomorrow. Even on this Viking cruise that we just took, they will call you. Viking quite often overbooks the cruises, and they select people and call you the day before to see if you'd be willing to move your week ahead to a later date. And in doing so, you would get a free cruise. So that happened for this trip we just took. We got the call the day we were leaving for the airport, and we just looked at each other and said, we have no idea whether we'll be able to travel next year. So no, let's go now. We're packed. We're ready. We'll go now. So we did. So
Yeah.
financially not smart, but yeah, it just made sense. And it was a great trip.
Well, it's beautiful. It's reminding us all to live in the moment.
That's it. That's it exactly.
And say yes when you want to say yes.
Yes, right. To the things that you want to do. Right.
See how you did that? That was good.
You did very well. Yes, and those things that we do say yes to now, a lot of times there can be amazing synchronicities, but it also opens up different possibilities for the next now, the next present moment. So
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. That was really a great tidbit to leave us with. But before we go, as our time is wrapping up, do you have a tidbit for maybe a younger woman? Tidbit of wisdom.
Yeah, just when I was younger and the three boys were all playing sports and I was teaching, you'd have to make time for yourself and for your spouse, because life just gets so crazy, and for your children too. Just have the time to sit down and just talk with them, and because it goes by in an instant. As Rebecca knows, my youngest has been married now 3 years, and where did that time go from being a little boy to being married? And so don't let the time slip by without taking advantage of those opportunities.
Beautiful.
Oh, that little tidbits of wisdom, little threads of pearls throughout.
With a grain of salt. Yeah, I'm going to sprinkle some salt on it. Just take it with a grain of salt. But looking back.
Yes.
Well, Cindy Gaylord, you are fabulous, and thank you for being with us today.
Thank you. Again, my honor and pleasure to be with you.
It's a joy to share the heart that I've come to know in these 3 or 4 years, and look forward to actually seeing you in person next month.
Absolutely.
But I'm so grateful that others can have a little glimpse into the heart that is you and the joy that you bring. Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
All right. Goodbye, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you on the next one.